Ladies and gentlemen, it's official. It's soup season!
Oh, and this soup is slow cooked with black beans and andouille sausage.
Oh, and we make it even better when we top it with a dollop of sour cream and some spicy chilies.
Oh, it is just a big old bowl of comfort.
That's right, begging for some cornbread.
Oh, yeah, cornbread.
Begging for it, baby. So I'm Chris.
And I'm Wesley.
My magical fruit, Loon.
That's right, beans, obviously.
You're like a bean. You're a magical
You know what
fruit.
else? It's soup weather and it's sweater weather.
Sweater weather. That's right. So guys, this is one of our favorite soups. It's one of our most popular on the blog.
It is packed.
It is so flavorful.
Packed.
It is just super delicious. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
So before you talk about your magical fruit,
Okay.
I'm gonna get the other main component going, which is our andouille sausage. So I've got my big old Dutch oven. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. You need a pretty large pot for this. But this is andouille sausage. It's really pretty easy to find nowadays, especially down south. It is in it's cured. Excuse me, it's fully cooked. Let me crank this up.
Crank it.
And then I've just sliced it into little medallions like this. Andouille it's originated in France, and then it, as often things do, it made its way down to the Louisiana bayou.
Down south.
Down south.
And it is. Oh, it's got a little cayenne and garlic in there.
It's got
pork.
It's
pork.
100% pork. It's got a little bit of a kick to it, but not too much. If you can't find andouille, you can go with whatever your favorite smoked sausage is, like kielbasa, whatever you've got.
But you can pretty much find andouille.
It is much more. I mean, when we
now.
lived up in New Jersey, I had no trouble finding it. So seek it out.
Yay!
Okay. So
and
now
then we have the other.
I'm going to sear these off. Go ahead.
So we've got the andouille sausage, and we also have the black beans. Now we prepared these last night. We actually. We started them last night. We put them in.
How much is it?
Oh, it's a pound.
Of what
a pound of the black bean, the magical fruit.
They're dried.
Yes, dry.
That's kind of important.
Right. So we put them in a big old pot. Actually, this pot. We're only using one pot today, y'all.
It's a one-pot wonder.
So we put them in that pot, and then we put in some water, and we got it. So we just covered them. And then you let them sit overnight. And then if there's, actually when you do that, if there's like some floaters, we call them, just take them out, right?
Discard them. If you have any
is
of
that
them
what you call them, floaters?
Floaters, yeah.
Right. And so then we took the beans, and you'll see that the water got a little darker, just because of the black beans.
And they get a little plumper.
Yeah, they get plumper, and then we rinse them, or we put them in a colander, rinse them off. And
you don't have to rinse them off.
We didn't rinse them off. Yeah, we just put them in the colander. I did do something, and then I put them in this bowl right here.
You did. You transferred them to the bowl.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to cook this until it gets nice and seared, and then we're going to keep building those flavors.
Yay.
There's something about this smell of this.
It smells amazing.
This
that flow is like,
yeah.
Hello.
I know the animals are gathering. So okay, so all you see, this is already cooked sausage. So we're not really doing anything more than just searing it off, and that adds just another beautiful layer of flavor.
Get those juices flowing too.
Yeah. So okay, so now we're going to clear. Yeah, I got it all. And don't eat it, as tempting as it is. Okay, so now we're.
Well, this would be good on a pizza too.
Oh, it would be good on just about anything. Okay, so now I've got 6 slices of slab bacon, good old thick sliced bacon, and I've just cut it up into kind of chunks. And then we're just going to cook this until it gets nice and crispy, and we're just going to keep making soup. Okay, well, bacon is like one of the greatest things ever, and let me tell you, the dogs.
You got 2 dogs and a loon watching every step you take.
I've got to like watch myself because it's like being prey. Anyway, this is just amazing. The smells are already.
You got that little crispy too. I love it.
I know, good and crispy. And now this amount of it's all right if a little gets left in there. Just kind of adds to the flavor. So if this amount of bacon is typically going to render about 2 tablespoons of bacon grease, which is perfectly great because we are now going to saute some vegetables. If you want to spoon some of that off, by all means, go ahead. But you need to leave some.
Leave it in there.
It's soup. It's meant to be super comfortable.
Yes.
This is 1 large onion. I'm going to say this is about 1.5 cups of chopped onion. And then we're going to do 2 jalapeno peppers that I've seeded and I've taken the ribs out. You may think 2, that seems like a lot. It's not. Like if you take those seeds out, it's not super spicy. And but if you're worried about any level of spice, then just go with one.
And we're waiting on the garlic.
We're going to wait on the garlic. We're going to let this.
So that's all the vegetables that are in there.
Yep, that's it. Except we're going to add some garlic in a minute.
That's my kind of soup.
That's right.
Meat, nothing but
That's
meat.
right.
And beans.
Beans,
the magical
yeah.
fruit.
I'd say the beans are the star of the black bean and andouille soup. All right, we're going to let this cook until it gets nice and soft, about 4 minutes. It just, the smell just keeps getting better and better. Okay, now we've got 3 nice sized cloves of garlic that I've minced. Ooh. We're going to cook this just till it starts to get aromatic.
Bits coming up off
I
the
know.
bottom. Oh, yes.
It really, this is one of my all-time favorite soups. It's so loaded with that just delicious
You don't
flavor.
make it that often.
I don't. I haven't made it in a while. And when we brought it out the other day, we were like, okay, why are we not making this every single other day? Okay, now let me make sure I've done everything right. Okay, so
What
now
about any salt and pepper?
that's coming.
All right.
So now we're gonna put in these beans.
There go the black beans.
The magical fruit. Okay, and I'm just gonna go ahead and stir it up just because I like to stir things up. It's what I do. Anyway, okay, so now we're going to, it's real simple. We're just gonna add some water.
Yeah.
And so
11 cups to be exact.
that's very exact. So 11 cups, and this transforms into this most amazing soup. It's so delicious. But we got another trick or two to add to the flavor.
Oh, yes, we do.
So now, as you can see, I'll grab this.
Yeah.
We've had to do this in 2 measuring cups. As you can see, you need a pretty good sized pot. So just keep that in mind as you're doing that.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Now we got these ham hocks.
These are ham hocks. So if you have a ham bone from when you had your holiday ham that you froze, is the perfect time to use it. But I went to I didn't have one, we'd already used it. I went to the grocery store, they had smoked ham hocks. I said, perfect, some sort of pork bone is gonna really
just
add
adds a
incredible
salty
flavor.
deliciousness.
It's amazing. Now we need 2 teaspoons of, I'm using kosher salt. We're gonna do about a half a teaspoon of black pepper. And then
some lemon zest, or lemon juice. Sorry,
yeah, this will just add a little depth, a little citrus is just gonna add a little depth of flavor to this. That's the juice of 1 lemon. It's basically 1 teaspoon.
And these guys don't go on until later.
Yeah, we did. So you do those up front, and then they come in at the very end. Okay. Yum yum yum. I know. Do not eat. That's the problem. Is he eats them? Okay, we're gonna let this.
Poor dogs.
I know. We're gonna let this come to a simmer, and then this is the painful part. You've got to let it simmer for about 2.5 hours to create the most flavorful, unbelievable soup of all time. Okay, it has been a lovely day. It's been a lovely afternoon.
It's been torturous.
It's been a little torturous.
All you do is smell this wonderful soup.
The smell is crazy. So we let this, as we said, when we last left you, we let this come to a simmer, and we just let it simmer for about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And you don't have to stay with it forever. Every 15, 20 minutes, just come give it a good, little stir like this.
Yeah.
And as you can see, we've been let this go now for 2.5 hours, and it's reduced, I'd say, by almost in half, which is good. Now I'm going to remove these lovely ham hocks that have done their job. They have imparted a lot of delicious flavor. Okay, now the fun part. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to turn off the heat because it's plenty hot. And we're going to stir in the good stuff. We got our sausage and our perfully cooked bacon. And look at that.
I'm dying.
I know.
Look at that.
You want to talk about a soup that people are going to be like, can I have seconds, fourth, and fifth, please? I'm giddy.
Oh, wow.
I'm giddy.
All right, yeah, me too. So let's go over here so I can burn my mouth already.
I know, I know it's going to be warm, but we can take it for the team. Okay, now the real trick is going to be if I can do this, get this into your, that's a good thinking, Loon.
There you go.
Okay, so now we got a nice big ladle because there's so much goodness
Dump
to
it
catch.
right in there.
I love stirring it because it just looks so good. But what am I doing? We need to be eating it.
Yes, yeah. Bring it on over. Wow. Yeah.
Isn't the smell?
Yeah.
The smell is just through the roof. Is that good? You want more?
Good. No, that's good.
That's good.
That is. All right. So he's gonna get himself some, but I'm gonna add my accoutrements. And
I love a good dose of the sour cream.
Add a little sour cream here.
You could do creme fraiche. You could do Mexican crema. You don't have to do anything.
And then we're gonna add some fun color. Like romper room, it looks like. These are all very primary colors.
Well,
we've got green and
if
red.
anyone would do romper room food, it would be us.
And yellow. Orange, sorry. Oh, that's yellowish. Orange. Orangish.
Orange.
Orange. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this, y'all. All right, Chris, I'm just plowing ahead.
Do it.
I am plowing.
You can keep this heated in your crock pot, in your slow cooker, and serve this to guests on the big game day,
You all.
on a snowy day.
Oh, I think the sour cream adds just this wonderful.
I think so too. I've always thought that.
Okay, wow.
And it cools it down just a hair.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go in. I got some sausage, I got some black beans, I
some
got
bacon,
some
that
bacon
broth
in there. I got a little broth.
Blow on it first. Okay. Oh, you doing it? Okay, no. Speechless.
Wow. This is like a big bowl of southern food right here.
It's just.
Wow.
It's so heartwarming. Oh my gosh. I feel like we need to be like have the big I'm gonna have most of you are gonna hate me for saying this, but we need to. I'm so excited. We need to turn on the Cowboys. But people are like, no, not the Cowboys.
Y'all, I really wish you could taste this. You need to make it.
And you will. And then you'll get to taste
just. I forget. I totally forget. You don't make it often, and I just forget how amazing this is. And it's 100,000% Loon approved. Are you okay?
I'm so verklempt. That's amazing.
This
Wow.
is that good, y'all.
It just warms you to the bone.
Oh, and as it sits there, it gets a little thicker,
yeah.
then it becomes like a stew, and you're like,
The next day and it freezes beautifully. You guys, you gotta make this. You've gotta know how
Make
much
it.
we love you.
Yes, we love you. Make some soup.
Make black
It's soup
beans.
season and sweater weather.
It's super. Bye, everybody.
Bye.